you were married
Okay.
10 years, kids, and then in the 10th year you get cheated on, are you leaving?
It depends on if he's showing me contrition or not. Why did this happen? Why didn't you talk to me? Was there a problem in our marriage, or is there a problem going on with you? Is this a midlife crisis? Is this something that you know? I need to understand what's going on. But I do think that forgiveness is a major part of love. A lot of people don't want to admit that. Now, I'm not saying you need to be forgiving a dude every dang on day. You know what I'm saying? For something major, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to set your boundary lines and whatever your hard lines are. But I feel like I have learned throughout my life, because I've cut a lot of people off. I'm one of those people that's like, you did me wrong, you've hurt me, we're done. Number change, you're blocked. Yeah. And I've learned that that's not right. I've lost a lot of people, or I have just found myself very alone, because it's like, well, girl, somebody gonna hurt you once or twice, like, including your mama and your daddy and your family members. Like, you're gonna be hurt by people because...
Now, this is a very good question. A very good question. Because of the simple fact that they've been together for 10 years. Been together for 10 years, and then you get cheated on. That's a long time. And she had a lot of questions with that. And I wouldn't be asking no questions, honestly. But at the same time, I've never been in a marriage, and I've never been married with somebody for 10 years. In the same household with that person for 10 years, and to experience everything that they went through. You know, when you're married with somebody, you're under the same roof, y'all got kids together. I would have to really experience that to really know whether or not if I would give that person another chance, because what she did say that spoke volume was forgiveness. You know, I had a hard time forgiving. I still have a hard time forgiving, you know, but I haven't been in many experiences that require forgiveness, but some experience I have been in. I'm not the one to hold a grudge. That's what I heard one time. This person told me, he was like, I love the fact that you don't hold a grudge. I don't hold a grudge because I move on. You can do something, you know, or you could say something to me and I'll be mad at you. And this is why I say I give too many people too many chances, because they can do something to me, and then, you know, a few days later, it can be tomorrow. If I need something from you, or I need to talk to you about something, I'm brushing that off my shoulder and I'm going right over there and I'm talking to you, regardless of how you feel. What you did to me was hurtful, but at the end of the day, we still got to keep moving on. We still got to do what we got to do, you know? And if I need answers from you, or I need something from you, I'm coming to you regardless of what happened, you know, because that's what I'm saying. I don't hold stuff over me. But when it comes to cheating, I'm the type of person where I've never been cheated on. Not that I know of. I've never been cheated on. But if I was to be cheated on, 10 years, we've been in this together. We've been in love with each other. We've been going through this. We've been going through this together. 10 years is a long time, you know. And it's not even questionable to me. Like, without that experience now, I would say it's not even a question. We're getting a divorce, period, point blank, because from that point forward, I will not be able to look at you the same. I can't look at you the same if we've been together for 10 years and you cheated on me. It's like, what did this mean? And at the same time, okay, you can ask questions and be like, okay, so obviously, and when she did say midlife crisis, that actually was another that was actually something else that was important, because if it was a midlife crisis, then, you know, midlife crisis in a relationship is that you just you 10 years in and you just feel like you going through something. It's something of a self, you know, everybody got that self-destruction mode. We all go through that. We all self-destruct eventually, and this could have been him, you know, after everything that's established and been, you know, set. Obviously there's something, man got those periods, some sort of like depression. Everybody goes through this. So instead of going and working it out with yourself, or going to a therapist, or figuring out how you can better the situation without cheating on your wife, because you know you've been through a lot, y'all got this established, and it's just like, if I know it's gonna be consequences if I do this, I really don't want to do this, you know. But that's if you care. So if this man cheats on me after 10 years, it just shows me a lot about you. And it shows me, yes, it's 10 years. We 10 years in, we got a lot going on. But at the end of the day, I'm not the only one that's losing. You're going to lose too. And if you cheated on me, then I can never look at you the same. That altered my perception of what we have. What we have and what we had. Now it's altered. I can't, 10 years, I looked at you one way and now you cheated on me. That next 10 years, I got to ask myself, do I want to go through this another 10 years? If I'm not seeing you the same for the next 10 years, like, how is this going to hurt me? I got to think about my mental health. I got to think about me. I got to think about me emotionally. How is this going to affect me? You want to go the next 10 years being hurt. You want to go the next 10 years questioning, questioning where he's at, wondering, that taking a toll on your mind every time he walks out the door. That's very hurt. It's hurting. That's burdensome. Would you really want to put yourself through that? I wouldn't want to put myself through that. I would not. So it's just like 10 years regardless, 10 years with you was amazing. We had a great experience, but obviously you cheated was the finish line for me. And now I got to do this without you, with the grace of God. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between having God in your relationship and not having God in your relationship. Not having God in your relationship, you're just, you know, you're basically at a standstill because you don't have faith going forward. But with God in your relationship, you got faith going forward. This person is just a person. And, that just shows me a lot. Every experience is a lesson. And that relationship was a lesson. And I've learned a lot, no matter how old we get or 10 years afterwards, how old I am. If this was the finish line and I have to move on regardless, and that's another thing. A lot of people be like, I don't want to leave this relationship because let's say you married at 25 and now you 45. You're like, I've been in this relationship, and now if I let go of this relationship, I'm fearing. Now I'm in fear mode because now I'm 45 years old. Who's going to marry me at 45 years old? I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be a widow. I'm going to be, well, not really widow because it's not like your husband is dead. It's just that he cheated on you. So it's just like they're afraid to move on without that person because of the big difference, the impact. It's what, so many years down the line, I'm now a certain age. Now I'm afraid. Because who's going to marry a 45-year-old? So they hold on and they stick around even though they're hurting, and they allow that man to cheat because they rather be with a cheating man than to be alone. And that's just what it comes down to. My answer would be no, and if I ever do have this experience, I will come back on here and tell y'all 10 years down the line if it happened to me and be like, well, my answer is ... And it probably most likely it still would be no. So yeah, that's my little thoughts and insight about this question. It was a good question, and it was something y'all should really think about. And yeah, something it had me thinking, like, because that's a question that always came across. I've always came across that question, but I never actually just sat down to really think about it and really just have a straightforward answer. But yeah, that would be my answer. Because when I love hard, and yeah, that's just it. So I will talk to y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care.